We're starting this topic today, and I want to ask this question. You don't have to blurt it out, but have you ever been given bad advice? Right? Yeah, right? Like, have you ever been given really, really bad advice, like buy Nortel when it's high, back years ago, or anything like that, right? Or Bitcoin, or I'm not going to get into I don't even understand that stuff, to be honest with you there. But I think maybe you've been given bad advice, right? About maybe someone you've dated, or someone you didn't date, or maybe a purchase that you made, or some sort of decision. But I think I heard enough yups in there that there's some really bad advice out there. I was looking up some things, and I thought this was funny, that here's some bad advice that maybe you should not heed to today. First one I saw was, if you don't want to cough, then take a laxative. I can relate. When I laugh, maybe I shouldn't say anything funny in the service, but all right, yeah, okay. Here's another word of advice. If you're going for a job interview and they ask, do you have any questions? Don't ask them, what is your drug use policy? Another one is, it's never good to say to somebody, no thanks, I'm a vegetarian, when they're handing you their baby. Another one is, when you see someone crying, it's best not to say, is that because of your haircut? What about this one? What about this one? When you're worrying, someone says, don't worry about it. Thanks. Tips? Great. Jesus? Okay, good, so good. I did some research. The World Health Organization has said that since the pandemic, moderate to severe anxiety and depression has jumped 25% immediately. Immediate jump, 25%. Here's what's even more unnerving and somewhat concerning, when it comes to Canadians, that they say that Canadians say that from 18 and up, 1 in 6 say they are moderately or severely battling anxiety or depression. Now, I know this is recorded. Someone will take a soundbite of this thing and probably post it and it'll go viral. I don't know. You know what? I can get it, and I understand with COVID that there's been big pharma has been making money on all this medication to get rid of the vid and all of that stuff. What about the big pharma that's got the anxiety pills and got the depression pills and all that? We don't even think about all of that stuff going on as well. What's even more upsetting to me and concerning to me as a Canadian is that there's 1 in 6 in Canada, but it is fueled by the 18 to 20, or by the 15 to 24 age bracket. That is 1 in 3. 32% of our generation growing up, 15 to 24, say they are battling moderate to extreme anxiety or depression. So, what do you give as advice to somebody who's going through this? Oh, I know. We're really good at that sort of thing. We say things like, you just need to relax. That's good advice. Or what about this one? Just stop thinking about it. Oh my God, I don't know, maybe you guys have heard those ones. Oh, let me tell you this one. Maybe you've heard this one. I can relate. I've gone through the same thing. I remember hearing a story of someone that lost a member of their family way, way too young. And someone came up to console them and said, I know what you're going through. Last month I lost my cat. Must have been a really nice cat, because I would just open the door and let it go. That's how I'd lose a cat. Anyways, we'll just leave that alone. Anxiety exists. We have anxious moments. We have depressing moments. But to deal with anxiety, to deal with depression, is when we're in this chronic state of it, or this systemic, non-stop, cannot stop the tap of anxiety or the tap of depressive thoughts. Yet we know we're not supposed to be anxious. We're Christians. I am a C. I am a CH. I am a CHRISTIAN. And I have CHRIST in my HART, and I'm not going to keep going. Just because I was afraid I was about to cough. But you know what? We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to handle it. And then Paul. Thanks, Paul. Paul, great. He's such a buzzkill, because he comes in with these things that tells us how we should live our lives, and we just want an excuse to be able to just fall apart. But he says to a church in Philippi in the 4th chapter, in chapter 6, and this is the verse we're going to learn today. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every, you know what? Let's all read this verse together. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. You know, if I didn't do the study and didn't know that Paul probably wrote this right before he was going to appear before Caesar, if I didn't know that he was already in jail for a couple of years, which was house arrest, which meant he had a ball and chain, basically a chain attached to a soldier. And for 2 years, he had to rely on people to bring him his food, to bring water. I know, Paul, I know what you're going through. I know what you're going through. If I didn't know that, I would probably think, Paul, you're overreacting. Come on, don't be anxious about anything. I looked it up to see if there's some sort of loophole. Like, he actually plays off of those words. He says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation. Anything, don't be anxious. Everything, he says, present your, or so he says to, I'm sorry, he says, I'm trying to mess this up here, or I'm not trying to mess this up, I am. It's good, it seems to be Mess Up Sunday. That's what we're doing today. We want to thank everyone for coming to Mess Up Sunday. So, but do not be anxious, but in every situation, with prayer, by prayer and petition, or sorry, I better learn this by next week when I'm going to do this. I know this verse here, but here we go. By prayer and petition, thank you. With thanksgiving, present your requests to God. See, I think here, and it's my suggestion here today, that maybe we're misunderstanding the verse a bit. I want to set some minds at ease and some hearts at ease here right now. It's kind of like the same thing when we dealt with the fruit of the Spirit. Because when we're trying to deal with, we don't have enough joy in our life, we try to make joy. We try to make kindness. We try to make gentleness instead of allowing the Spirit to work through us, and the fruit of that comes that way. I want to let you know today that this verse here is not saying if you are worried or if you are anxious, pray to God and you'll stop worrying. I want to set your hearts and your mind at ease. Paul is not saying to the Philippian church, Paul is not saying to us perhaps today, 2,000 years later, if you just pray, then you're going to stop worrying. I'm doing that because I know there's probably people in this room right now, and you're listening to this message, and up until that point, you're like, I've tried that and it didn't work. That's not what Paul is saying. Paul is saying that God here God doesn't answer our prayer by stopping our worry. What he's saying is that we stop worrying when we change our focus. It's not, God, you need to help me stop worrying. And you haven't done it yet, so now I'm worrying why? And you just add that on top, and God, is it sin? And God, is it this? And is it my spouse? Or is it my child? Or I know I shouldn't have jaywalked that time 2 months ago. Like you start just trying, like, oh. What God is saying to us today, I love the preaching. Preach back too, it's good. What God is saying is that you stop worrying when you change what you're thinking about. Oh man, I wish I could keep going, but you guys are gonna have to wait for another week, but just press pause on that, put a little thumbtack on that, because we're gonna come back to that time. It's when you change how you think that you change what you dwell on. You change what fixates your mind. You know your mind is incredible. It can start thinking about things just like that. I know I've done this before. I don't know if I've done it in this room, but if you trust me, just close your eyes. If you have a purse here, just put your hand on your purse. If you don't trust the person beside you, that's fine. But just close your eyes for a second and think of this. Okay, I want you to picture a meadow with a black bear sitting there eating a little buttercup flower. Now, don't think of a lion. You all thought of a lion. You all thought of one because you can't not think. So you have to change what you focus your mind on. You see, we have to change the what to start focusing on the who. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. It's Prop Sunday. Okay. I know some of you probably saw this black bag here and just got, excited. Okay. All the ADHD people. Yay. Okay. That's good. Okay. So that's fine. Okay. So what I have here is a jug of water. Okay. I don't know if you can all see that, a jug of water. Okay, and so just because I am really, really poor at magic, I just want to make sure, Richard, you're close there. What do you see in there? Just want to make sure, is there nothing? Okay, there's nothing in there. Okay, just want to be clear, there's nothing in there. Okay, all right. So, and here is a weight thing for the kitchen, apparently, because I don't know how to use it. Okay, because that means I'd have to be cooking. But it's turned on, and so I've zeroed here. Okay, so there we are. It is telling me that it is, let me just turn this on here. Are we ready to go here? Okay, good. Okay, it is telling me 176 grams. Okay, that glass is 176 grams. Okay, so that's the weight of this. So I want to let you know, I can hold that. And I'm going to put some water in here, okay? So it's up to, so now I'm up to 205 grams, so that's there. Okay, so we're going to keep going there. And it's up to, what's 176, so that's 50, or 352, I guess. So hold on a second here. Okay, so there we go. Okay, 150, okay. So now this has as much water in it as it does the glass's weight. Now, I know all of you right now are going, oh, thanks, that's so smart, wow, that's good, okay. I'm not like Bill Nye the Science Guy or anything like that, but I want to see how much I can get this in here, okay? And so here's the problem is that we're like, well, you know what, I can handle it. I've already doubled its weight. I can handle it. See, it's all okay. I'm okay. What's going on in life? No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine, right? You're handling it, and it's fine, okay. But then more things happen. Oh, you can handle it. You can do it. God's not going to give you anything more than you can handle. We'll find that in the Bible. It's not there. Okay, anyways, we'll just keep moving on there. You go like this. It just keeps going and going and going, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Well, that has to do with suffering, okay? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we're like, what are we up to now? Hold on here. We're like 496 grams, okay? We're right like almost near the top. And here, you're going, oh, I can handle it. Well, yeah, you can handle it for a minute, but what happens if I have to handle this for an hour? Or a couple of hours? After a while, this is going to get a little heavy, and it's just like, oh, I'm starting to lose it a bit here, right? And you're kind of going a bit, and then what about like a day? A day, Jesus says, why are you worrying? You can't even add an hour to your life. And here, it's the same word that's used there. Don't be anxious. It's the same word that's used there. It's saying to actually, literally, be careful, full of care. But you know what? No, I can do it. I can do it. Okay, so let's see. Let's see how much it's going to handle before it finally busts. Okay, so we're up there. We're at 532. Okay, we're 542. Okay, 544. If any of you have like a really bad bladder problem, I really apologize with this sound here. But okay, 5, okay. Oh, did it spill? No, we're good. We're good. 5. Oh, it spilled over. Okay, so we're like, what's that? I think I just fried it. Okay, no, it's good. It's good. But it's 500. It's 554. Okay, that's like literally 3 times its weight. I can handle it. But don't move. Don't move. Because the second you start moving, then it's just like going everywhere. And you're like, I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it, right? And then that's why. And the problem is you all think this is funny, but this is how we all live our lives. We live our lives this way because we're trying to deal with it because we think we can handle it. We can contain it. But we're never intended to carry it. That wasn't the intention in the first place. So what happens? Oh, it gets heavy. So then we say to somebody else, can you come and you help? And they come and say, yeah, we'll help. And then you start dumping all of your anxiety and care on them. And then they start saying, is there a way I can block them on Facebook? I love you with the love of the Lord, but that's turning into about it right now, And it's just like that. But we do that. And then we start looking to other people. And we try to lean on each other. And we say, and it's because we can't hold it ourselves. But I'm here to tell you it was never for you to hold on in the first place. Paul says, don't be anxious about anything. But in every situation. See, friends, stuff's going to get poured in, whether you like it or not. You're going to get stuff poured in. Life's going to happen. You're going to have anxious moments. You're going to have depressive moments. Things are going to happen. Bad days are going to come, and good days are going to come, and really bad days are going to come, and have bad weeks, and maybe more than bad weeks. But what are you going to do with it in here? Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving. I really wish Paul hadn't have put that in there. It's hard to be thankful sometimes for the stuff that you're going through. And I wonder why Paul wrote that. Some part of me wonders if, not really a big part of me, but if I get to heaven and Paul's like, I didn't say that, somebody added that, because I never would have said that. I'd be like, I get it, it makes sense. No, don't worry, he put it. But to say that, why would you add with thanksgiving? Because he said something to another group of Christians in Rome. In in week 2 of this. He says, but we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. And you can't know what God has done until you take time and you reflect. When you're anxious, you're not looking back. You're worried about the future. You're worried about your present. You're worried about all that. But when you can actually pause and allow yourself to think about what God has done, I'm telling you, as sick as this is going to sound, that there will always be something that you can be thankful for in any situation that you face. And I'll tell you this, if you find a situation where you can prove me that there is nothing redeemable from that moment, that Jesus did not need to come to the cross, because Jesus set me free from sin and death. And whatever may come my way, I am thankful that he who started a work will be faithful to complete it, and he will quicken my mortal bodies when I need him. That's the God that I serve. And so I find something to be thankful for. A couple of days ago, I'm laying in bed. I get up. I have a routine on Fridays. Made coffee. Went to Carrie, gave her a coffee. And I said, I have to get back in bed. I'm just going to sleep for an hour. And then I woke up, and the water was running in our house. And I didn't know what was going on. And Carrie was taking a shower because it was 10 after 11. How many people know my sleep schedule? Like, I get teased. Oh, yeah, I get teased. I just don't sleep. I opened my eyes, closed them again, and it was 12:30. I was laying there, and what was making me fall asleep was the sound of the wheezing in my lung. I was just listening to it. It was almost like, I was like, can I make a song from this? I was just trying to, I'm just like lying. That's what squirrels do. That's what we do. Let's make a symphony from it, I was lying there, and I was like, do I have the vid? Is this what happens? Is this the beginning of the end? Because I couldn't do anything without being tired, and so I took a test. I took a few tests, and as I said, I think I punctured something at some point, just like going too. Apparently, you're not supposed to take a running start with the swab, but anyways, I apologize. But I'm lying there. I'm like, I can't believe I have this, man. I've got church on Sunday. I can't do this. God, you got to heal me. And then I saw that the test was negative. And as I'm laying there wheezing, I'm going, well, God, at least it's not COVID. Thank you, Jesus. I can take this. And so my family has tolerated me. I'm just basically, I can't hide anywhere in the house because I just cough, so they know everywhere. Like, I can't play hide and seek with my granddaughter. I just cough once. Okay, you're over there. That's fine. But you can always find something. You can go even more tragic. I lost my dad 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago in November. I'd do anything to have another day with him. But I can be upset about that, or I can thank God for every day I did have with him. And the golf trips we did, and the camping trips we did, and when he took me cross-country skiing, even though I hated it. I did. I hated it. I complained the whole time. But yesterday, we were out at the Chilliwack Fair, and I got this smell, and I turned to Carrie and said, it smells like cross-country ski wax. And she looks at me like, is that similar to burnt toast? Like, do we have to call in the St. John ambulance or something like that? But it was just like, it brought me back to that cross-country skiing moment. I didn't like it at the time. Downhill. Dad, sailing. Son, motorboat. Right? You know, it's just like, no, I didn't like it. But I thank God for those moments now. He says, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving. Do you know what happens when there's thanksgiving? This is thanksgiving. That's thanksgiving. Now, I know right now, some of you right now are going, oh, you poured it all out. And, I'm joking. I didn't do that. Okay. You're all worried about like, oh no. But you know what? It's going to dry up. It's going to dry up. Well, actually, we want to get a little nerdy. It's not going to dry up. It's just eventually going to evaporate. It's eventually, all of that is just going to go into the air. Wait a minute. See, I think we got it all wrong. No offense, but from the very beginning, you thought this was empty and there was nothing in it. There was. There was air. There was that spread out far and wide. And my friends, that's what anxiety does. Is it condenses what's not supposed to be yours to keep. When you're dealing with those thoughts, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, you pour it out to the one who's going to take it all anyways. See, in 1 Peter chapter 5, he says, cast your cares on him because he cares for you. It's all out there. This is just going to go back into the atmosphere where God can handle it. And he can handle it. And the problem is, every time you do this, you think you're filling your cup. You're not filling your life with worry. You're not filling your life with all of these thoughts. You're pushing out what's already in there. And that's the God who says, just let it go. Clean up aisle 4. Friends, this is what I want you to understand today. We can get some really bad advice. And yes, I'm going to walk over here because right now, all of you are worried if I'm going to slip on that. Except for my granddaughter, she doesn't care. But let me give you some good advice instead. Let me give you some good advice when it comes to anxiety. Let me give you some good advice when it comes to depression. Now, understand this, and I want to be very clear. Okay? When I went to Bible college and got my degree in theology, I skipped every class that would have made me a medical practitioner. I think they offered none. So understand that there are some times when you need help. I wear contacts because you would all be just a bunch of color if I wasn't wearing contacts. Sometimes there's things happening in the chemistry of our bodies that mean we may need to go to a doctor and get some help about some things, and that's totally okay. I want you to understand that. But I'm talking about the stuff that we choose to hold on to instead of choosing to be thankful and let it go. My advice is this. If this was your mind, somebody right now, it's empty. No, it's not. You're going to fill it with something. You're going to fill it with something. So you have a choice. Are you going to fill it with those things that are going to weigh you down? 3 times the weight. Just to look like you can handle it. Just because you think you have to? Or are you going to prayer and petition with thanksgiving? Present your requests